Hello sir, so this is my video for my practical work number 4. So this practical work is a lightweight data management system designed to interact with an Excel based database via RDBC, which is Open Database Connectivity. It demonstrates how to treat Excel files as relational tables, enabling developers to perform standard database operations such as inserting, updating, and querying records. The script is tailored for managing library data, including entities such as authors, books, members, loans, and their relationships. So before we get into the website, I'm going to show you how we linked our RDBC with the Excel file. So first of all, we did go to the htdocs folder in the example, because I used example in this example. So we go to the PHP folder and we go to the PHP file. We right click on it, we open it with the WordPad, and here we search for RDBC. And as we can see here, we have extensions equal RDBC. It had before semicolon, but we removed it and we save it. And the next we open the RDBC data source administrator. We go to the Excel files and we choose which Excel files we want to do our work on. So I choose this one, which will see the same name here. That's it. And now we're gonna see how the website work. So first we go to the book management. So here we can, as we can see, we have the add a new book, which we can add a new book with the ID, title, the gender, and the date of publication, and the number of pages. And we can also update this book. And we have beneath everything the book records, which display all the book records we have in the Excel file. So we're gonna test it here. We're gonna test, let's see, ID 11, the title, test, and we choose a random date, and the pages, random number, and we can add a book. As we can see here, it has been added successfully. And now we check the Excel, and as we can see, it's been added successfully. And also we can update it. So here we choose the ID of the book, let's say 11, and we change the title. Let's say Harry Potter. The gender, let's say adventure. Choose a random date and the number of pages. And we can update the book. As we can see here, it has been updated successfully, and we check it has been added successfully in the Excel file. So this is the book page. Now we go to the author page, and basically it's the same. You can add a new author and update it, and it will show us here the author records. So let's test it. The ID, let's choose ID 8. First name test, last name test. Let's choose nationality Algerian, and the random date. We can add the author. As we can see, it has been displayed here, and it has been added in the Excel table. So we're gonna test the update function. So here we choose the ID 8, and we're gonna change the information. And we pick a random date, and now we update it. So here it is, it has been updated successfully, and we check the Excel file. Now it has been updated successfully. So this is the author page, and now we're gonna see the member management page. So here we can add a new member. Let's say the different ID, for example 9, the name test, and the last name test, address, just pick a random address, and the phone number, just a random number. We can add it. We can see that it has been added successfully here. And when we go to the Excel file, we can see that it has been added successfully here. So we can also update this member, like we choose the ID number 9, first name, we can change it, we can change everything, and we can update the member. So as we can see here, it has been updated successfully. So when we go to the Excel file, you can see that it had been updated successfully. We go now to the loan page. Here we can add a new loan. We can add a new loan by entering the ID of the loan. Let's say for example 7, and we choose the date of the loan. Let's say today until the 20, and we choose the member of the ID member. Let's say for example 9, and we choose the ID of the book. As we can see, let's choose the 11, for example, and we can add a new loan. As we can see, it display here the loans. We have the ID of the loan, the date of the loan, the date of the return of the loan. We have the ID member and the ID of the book, and we can update an existing loan. Let's say for example number 6 or number 5. We can change the date. Let's say the first and the last day. We can change the member ID. Let's say for example 7, and the book ID we can choose 3, and we can update loan. As we can see, it has been updated successfully. And this is it for the loan page. Now we go to the book and author page. Here we can link a book with the author, with his author. Let's say for example this author, let's say this author with the ID number 2, we wanna link it with the ID number 2 for the book. We can insert number 2 here and number 2 here and add association. We can display it here. We can check the Excel file, and as we can see, it has been displayed here. And now we can go to the queries, the library queries, where we have 3 queries. We have the show loans for specific member. I choose for this example the member with the ID number 4. And we have the query that shows authors and their book count, and we have the query that shows books in a specific gender, like we say this specific gender, dystopian. Now we're gonna test it. So we press here, and we can see the loans for the member with the ID number 4. As we can see, the ID of the loan, the date and the date of the return of the loan. We have the ID of the member, which is number 4, and the ID of the book that he borrowed. And we can test it right now. We can add a new loan. Let's say, for example, book number 4, loans. You can add new loan, like 8. You can choose date and tomorrow. The member's ID, which is number 4. The book ID, we're gonna choose a random book. Let's say book number 1. And we can add loan, and we're gonna see now if the query has been changed or not. So we go here and we go. So it has been added successfully with the ID of the loan, the ID of the member, and the ID of the book. And here it is the date of the loan and the date of the return of the loan. So now we're gonna see the authors and the book count. So we press here and that shows us the authors and their book count. Like let's say for example this author has two books, and this author has one book, and the rest it counts how many books they have. And we have the query that shows books in the dystopian gender. So we can see here we can add new book to confirm that it works. So we go to the books. We can add new book, ID, title, test, and we're gonna change. Let's see, just a minute. Gonna copy the type. Gonna go here. The title, test, and the gender. I'm gonna choose this gender, and I'm gonna pick a random date and the number of pages, and we can add new book here. And now we're gonna test if it works, if the query works. Let's see, and now it has been added successfully. So this is the how the website functions. Now we go to the code. First of all, we have the server .php. We have the server .php. This server class is designed to handle the database. It handles the database operations through RDBC. It provides methods for connecting to a database, executing SQL queries, and manipulating data, such as inserting, updating, and displaying records. This class facilitates database interaction by abstracting the database connection and query execution logic, making it easier to perform common database operations. So we have first the ID connection here is a property that stores the database connection resource. It holds the connection identifier returned by the RDBC connect. So we have the constructor method. Which is called when a new instance of the server called class is created. It automatically invokes the connect, and it invokes the connect method to establish a connection to the database. Now we have the database connection. The connect method uses the RDBC connect function to establish a new connection, to an Excel file which is used as database in this case. So the connection details are hard-coded as Excel files for database source and empty strings for the username and passwords. Let's as we can see here, and we have the query execution. We have the query execution. The exec request method execute SQL queries against the connected database using ODBC exec. So, when we have the database manipulation, we have the database manipulation methods, the insert record, and the update record, and we have the delete record. And now we can see here the additional query methods that we saw earlier in the website. We have the get book borrowed by a member, which we use the dollar book dollar member ID. This method fetches the book borrowed by a specific member. It joins the loan and book tables and filter the member ID. The query returns the book title, borrow date, and return date for specific member. Like we saw earlier, we choose the member number 4, as we can see here what I have been saying. And we have the function get authors with book count. This method fetches a list of authors along with the count of their books that have been written. It performs a left join between the author and the book author tables, counting the number of their books, associated with each author. And we have the get overdue. No, I didn't do this. So we have the get books by gender. So we have this method that retrieves books belonging to a specific gender. It filters the books table by the gender and return details such as title, gender, publication date, and the number of pages. So this is the server point PHP. Now we're gonna go to the book point PHP. So we have in the book point PHP. So we have here the connection with the server point PHP. So we have it includes the server class. So we can see the server point PHP, and we have handling from submission. The script checks if a post request have been made, which occurs when a user submit a form. So we have depending on the action parameter via the form, we have the action parameter. So via the send form, the script performs of the following action. It adds a new book. And it adds a new book. Insert new records into the into the book table using the values provided by the user. We have the updating an existing book which is modifying an existent record in the book table based on the ID of the book. And we have the HTML forms, and for the create, read, and update operations. And we have the displaying books if there are any. And this is it. We have also the query page. We have the query page, which is as we can see, have includes the server class. It begins by including the server.php file, which contains the server class responsible for executing SQL queries on the database. An instance of the server class is created and sorted in the variable dollar server. This object will be used to interact with the database and perform the queries. So we have the HTML structure. The page is structured using standard HTML with embedded PHP for dynamic content generation. There are several buttons within the form that allow the user to execute different SQL queries. The buttons are associated with the specific queries. For example, as we saw earlier in the website, the query number 1 that shows loans for a member with the ID specific number 4. We have the query number 2, which shows the authors and their book count, and we have the query number 3, which shows books and the dystopian gender. So we have third of all, we have the execution of the queries and displaying the results. So the form captures buttons, clicks, and triggered specific SQL queries based on the button clicked. So for example, query 1. So for example, query 1. When the show loans for member with the ID number 4 is button is clicked, it retrieves all loans records for the member with the ID number 4 from the loan table. The query executed is select from loan where ID member equals 4. So the results are fetched and displayed in a tabular format using the X request method of the server class. And we used for the query number 2. The query number 2 we used when we click the button of the query number 2, it performs a left join between the author table, between the author and the book author tables, to count the number of books written by each author. The query executed is this one. This provides a list of authors along with the count of books associated with them. And we have the third query, which when we click the show books in dystopian gender button, is when we click it retrieves all books from the book table where the gender is dystopian. The query executed is the select from books where where the gender equals dystopian, and displaying the result using the X request method. And so this is my presentation for the practical work number 4. I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.